remember those days, those L's. I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need that energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me. When the truth don't work, you start telling lies. Thought you were down to ride, you weren't down to ride. Caught switching, you were picking sides. Don't blink, caught slipping like a slip and slide.
Alright, so got my second little plate cut out. That's gonna go right in there. Looks like I need to cut a little bit more off the bottom to sit flush, but I'm just gonna send it. Gonna tack that into place. Then once that's in, I'm gonna figure out what I can do next. Because like I said, I'm needing more things in order to finish up the back. I may just continue on the front, but for now, let's just focus on getting this back here done. I do plan on adding another kind of gusset in this area. That being maybe add something like down here or up here, but that may just be enough. Or anything, what I might do is do something like this, but on the inside just to reinforce this side a little bit. But just tacking everything in for now until I can assure that everything's gonna clear, everything's gonna move properly like it should. That being said, I'm probably now gonna go ahead and start working on the gussets for the outside to hold that in place a little bit better. So gonna get another piece of cardboard, make the templates for each side, get those cut out and tack those in. So that'll be next. Okay, now we got our template. This is gonna sit right in there. Gonna give us a little gusset for the inside. So I already got this traced out. Again, this won't match the other side, so I'm gonna have to modify, make another one for the other side, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this side out and then we'll get to doing the other side. So I forgot to push record whenever I tacked that last plate in, but it's pretty much the same as the other side. So we got that tacked in, went ahead and sweep up my area, made it a little bit more clean. But looks like the front of it is pretty much tacked up in place. That should give me enough strength to where I can move the suspension through its travel and then just check and see if I got any bind back here with the 4-link. Last thing I gotta do is tack these link tabs into place, make sure they're centered up where they're supposed to be, that they're the same distance. And then really I just gotta start figuring out a way to mount the back mount plates and then where to mount the shocks. So that's gonna be next. I'm actually gonna start breaking out the air management stuff, the tank and whatnot, the compressors. I have the compressor brackets somewhere in here. Gotta find a place to start mounting the compressor brackets, start finding a place to mount the batteries. Probably gonna do two batteries, one on each side of the frame rails on the outside. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what we got so far. I think I'm just gonna be jumping back and forth. I think next I might come back up here and start working on the firewall up here. Start doing that, at least until I can get the tubing back here for the bag mount plate. That's pretty much what's going on so far. Okay, so here we are with the rear bag setup. These are some Airlift Dominator D2500 airbags. And the way I set these up is I just took the center mounting hole of the lower bracket and then just measured out. The max diameter, whenever it's compressed on the bag, is 7 inches. I kind of gave it about 8 inches fully when it's compressed of clearance. So that should be enough right there. Kind of what I did, say if I go to this side, I put a plumb bob pretty much there on the edge of the frame rail, kind of matching up against the frame rail, hanging down here. And then I just took my measuring tape, measured halfway 4 inches, and that gives me clearance right to the edge of the string right there, which will give me clearance to this fish plate instead of the actual rail itself. So that pretty much right there, right here, would be as wide as the bag would get when it's compressed. So I gave it about a 1/4 inch more of clearance on each side. So that should do me just fine right there. So we're gonna have pretty good amount of clearance. I got the other bag sitting right over here. And then instead of doing what I initially had mentioned before, of doing the solid bar across the top, what I'm gonna end up doing is putting these either which way. I don't know if I'm gonna do this on which side, but now I can take this upper plate, set it right there, and what I'll do is I'll build some gussets that'll go from the top of this plate up to the frame rail, strengthen this up here. I'm still gonna do some reinforcement across the top to keep them from rolling out whenever they air up, which they still shouldn't, but just for added strength right there, I'm gonna end up doing that crossbar. But yeah, instead of welding these plates to the crossbar, I'm just gonna end up doing some gussets right here. Yeah, but that was pretty much how we're gonna end up doing this rear setup. I did measure, obviously this should be even, but for some reason it's still off just a hair. It would have to be like right there, but it's sitting right on the frame rail itself. I think on this side it's the same thing. See, it's weird. This side is even. This side's just a hair off. It's not much. I mean, look. Settle it down. It's like very minute. So it's not going to have much of a difference. However, I did make sure that it was level this way. Both of those sides are good on this side. I'm going to get my hardware. I might have to end up drilling this hole a little bit bigger because I don't think my hardware will fit through there. So these are pretty much the hardware that I'm going to be using. I am going to end up putting a lock nut on there. Actually, no. We're actually going to be pretty good. That fits right perfectly through there. I'm just going to use a lock nut. I'm going to go ahead and set those in place. And then, actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. So if I remember correctly, let me check real quick. All right, so after checking on the website, these bags actually have about an 8-inch compression height. Fully compressed is at 2 inches, I believe, 2.8 inches. And then fully extended, it has a maximum height of 10.5, I believe it is. So we have about 8 inches of travel right there in the bag. So what I'll do is I'll set a halfway point on the bag plate and say like use some square tubing to make like a 4-inch spacer. All right, so here we have our little spacer for the bags. And this one I did it at 7 1/4. Now, reason being, the first one that I actually cut, I did at 6 1/2. And I realized that was gonna bottom out the airbag before the truck is even laid out. So the max compressed height of the airbag is 2.8 inches. And what I did is I added about a 4-inch right height where the suspension is being set at, which will give me up to 7 1/4. So once it's aired out, it'll compress down to 3 1/4, which is about a little more than a 1/4 inch of still play in the of compression for the airbag, so we don't bottom out the airbag. So the spacer is going to be set at 7 1/4 now. Going to center those up and then start working on making the little gussets kind of to hold that in place. And yeah, that's going to be next on the to-do list. Okay, so got both of my spacers knocked out. This is still hard to believe for me, but apparently these will extend to, supposedly these bags will extend up to 10.5, I believe. Right there is almost like the right height where I'm going to be at right now. The right height is going to be, or the bag length would be at 7.25. Supposedly I would still have another 3.5 to 4 inches of travel compared to this 7.25. It extends to 10.5, so I can still go up to 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. So I still got about 3 more inches of height with this bag. So yeah, I don't know how much exactly still. It will probably give me exactly 3 more inches in the back of lift because it's right on the axle. This thing should give me about 8 inches of height in the back, aired up all the way, and I still don't know in the front. So that's gonna be it for today. It's getting kind of late. It's about that time for dinner. I gotta go get dinner for the family, but made some progress. As you can see, finally got these tacked into place. Those are working. Got the lower bag mount plates tacked into place. Made the little spacers for it for the upper brackets. Got those centered up. And now next we'll be getting some of that more of that flat pieces of plate and start making the gussets for these upper bag mounts. So gonna have to think of a way to make these work without getting in the way of the bolts and for the airline. So that's gonna be a fun little challenge, but I think that I'm gonna call it right there a day. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you check the link below. I still have a lot of shirts, sweaters, hoodies. Make sure you check the link below. I still have a lot of shirts, hats, hoodies, and a couple of stickers still laying around. So help support the build. Get yourself some of the stickers and some merch. And I will catch you guys on the next one.
I put in work, you know I'm up to get it. Early bird gets the worm and the Yankee fitted. Like, whoa, bags under my eyes and you know, won't complain, I'm tired, I'm on go. For that grip, 10 toes till they swole. For that grip, 10 toes till they swole. Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need that energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me.